be as long as last time at all.
No. Okay. Right. Okay. So we are live, and we are live on my profile, and we're live on my page, and we're live on LinkedIn. So I'm just going to have a look and see. Can I see? Yep, I can.
And we're live on.
Oh, I can hear myself as well. So let's just see, because I can't see messages coming up at the moment when I go live. So I'll turn that down so I can just see it. Yep, we're live everywhere. Okay, so I'm live again, talking to Mandi Simms, gorgeous lady from, where is it you're from? I can't remember.
Who cares? We're on Zoom, so it's fine. Hampton Court, near Hampton Court.
Yeah, and that's where your pop-up shop is going to be, isn't it?
Pop-up shop's actually down in Walton, but it's actually 5-10 minutes drive, so away from mine. So it's lovely and local.
Yeah. Okay. So that's brilliant. So what we're going to do in this sort of session interview is just have an update on the shop and where you're up to. And we're also going to talk about the work that we've been doing together, which is primarily EFT tapping and some positive visualization. And then I've got a surprise to announce, which is something that's going out tomorrow for 48 hours. So let's crack on with first just finding out how the shop's going. Where are we up to with the shop?
Well, it's going quite well. I've got a few more rails. I need some more rails. So if anyone is local to Walton has got some clothing rails and hangers, that would be much appreciated. So that's going really, really well. More rails are up. More clothes are coming out of my own home from my collection, my AKA the Hoard.
So just to remind people what the shop's going to be, what you're going to be selling in the shop.
Well, it's quite a brave thing that I'm doing. It's my collection, aka Hoard, and I will call it that because it's shoes, bags, vintage clothing, which are pretty overwhelming in my home, and I had them in storage units, and I actually did a TV program with Channel 5 and Crackit, produced by Crackit Productions.
What was the TV program called? I always forget what it was called.
It was called Hoarders Buried Alive on Channel 5.
Hoarders Buried Alive. Yeah.
And I really wanted to help create awareness and break any stigma around what people see stereotypical hoarders as and what they hoard, because mine is clearly it was a collection at one point, and then it just became very overwhelming, and there's just lots of shoes, clothes. It's all quite organized, so if anyone wants to watch it on catch up on TV, you'll see that, you know, they're very beautiful, sparkly sequins, 40s 50s clothing, etc. And I've been very, very lucky because I wanted to do a pop-up, because I realized it would take me a long time to put everything on and sell it on the internet, or to travel to vintage markets, etc. And I was very lucky to be able to work with Rainbow Rising and create a pop-up shop in a local shopping centre, and be able to sell, you know, items from my collection and help raise funds for Hoarding UK. And
you also had help from Rebel Business School, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
They've been really supportive.
Yeah, they've been really supportive, and I hopefully am very supportive back to them to just spread the word of, you know, Rebel Business School have been brilliant. You know, the presenters were absolutely brilliant. The fact that it's 10 days of 10 till 6 hours each day, or 5 hours, that they offer all of this advice for free. And it's other sponsors like councils or, you know, trusts that are putting the money behind it to get these let these courses run. And I've just found them the They've been absolutely brilliant. They've got a great support page and alumni of people that have been on courses afterwards. And they're great at just, we've got like WhatsApp groups, so we can put, if we've got a techie problem or a techie question. And in fact, actually today, there's a lot of love and support for someone that's got themselves into the local newspapers, and everyone's like, oh, well done. You know, so it's a great, they've been a great addition to my journey. And that's obviously, you know, how we became acquainted and met. But yeah, so Rebel Business School have been great. Rainbow Rising, absolutely brilliant in wanting to help support me, and the fact that I'm able to help clear my hoard to help myself, but also to help raise funds for Hoarding UK. So
And
yeah,
when's
it's
it going to be open?
I'm hoping that it's going to be at the beginning of May. That's the plan. You know, I've got like techie stuff, but there's been some great people that are saying, you know, don't worry, you'll be able to work the techie stuff and the
You've got a lot of support around you, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been very, very, you know, lucky. People do really want to help me. They want me to succeed, and I more than ever want it myself to succeed as well, because one, all of the stuff, you know, I've got some lovely pieces that if they're just sitting in a storage or in my home or in bags, you know, they're never going to get out into the wide open area and have a new journey, a new adventure with someone
New life.
else. Yeah, new life, you know, for me too. So physical and emotional baggage to be decluttered.
So on that note, let's have a chat about the work that we've been doing. So we've only just started working together, but we've done a couple of sessions, haven't we? So do you want to tell us about, you know, what we've been doing?
Yeah. Well, we've had a couple of sessions that haven't been live, and I think probably there's
us as
I think
well.
Yeah, I know. Very much so. There's been a lot of tears and traumas and upsets and big bursts of releasing of emotion and releasing energy that I guess I hadn't really realized that it was, you know, they're there because it's been a repeat of a pattern. If someone would ask me, I would go back to something that had happened, and I would, you know, say, oh well, you know, that's happened before, or that's a repetitive pattern. So I didn't really know much about tapping and EFT, and I just said to Anne Marie that I would call it tears, tapping and talking therapy.
Yeah, because we do a lot of tapping, tears and talk, don't we?
Oh no, that's been
release.
It. Yeah, to release the energy, and that's been quite you know, cathartic, because I've obviously, you know, when Anne Marie and I've been talking about it and we've been tapping through, and I'm sure Anne Marie will talk more about tapping, but it's been very much about tapping the old energy out, releasing something that is in your body, that is energy that's been stored there, but is basically we're tapping and talking and releasing it. And there's been some pretty big fountains of tears, especially before we went live today. There was some big emotional triggered subjects that
so what do you think the link is between sort of you know, EFT, the emotions, and, you know, clutter, hoarding? You know, how is it helping you?
I think as I'm releasing lots of stuff, because I realize that, you know, me holding on and collecting, it could have been any other addiction or habit or go to. Mine has been hoarding. So, or collecting. I don't like to necessarily use the word hoarding, but it's a word that people will understand. But collecting to potentially fill a void. And if anyone does watch the program, you'll probably see me talk about, you know, my stuff can't leave me, which is a big trigger for me. And loss and trauma are very much key subjects that Anne-Marie and I have spoken about and tapped through, and big tears have happened as I've kind of like releasing it. So I see my releasing my hoard from my home to be really powerful, and having the shop, and that's not the reason that, you know, I'm talking about the shop. It's basically saying I needed a way out. and I couldn't see a way out. And I couldn't afford to do storage any longer, so I had to pull it in. So my home became like a storage unit, and my garage was full. So I realised that it was massively overwhelming, and I wasn't living a normal, whatever normal life is, because I couldn't really have people round. I had a table that was full of stuff. My settee was starting to, get full, and my living room is, it's got lots and lots of bags in it. So, it was making me very unhappy, and, very overwhelmed. So I was very much about anything and everything that can help me clear through, because I've also been on a very long, a journey, and a lovely journey through working with batch flower remedies as well. And I found finding that the EFT is complementing and kicking it into place quite quickly,
Yeah.
because I'm kind of clearing the energy very quickly and very visibly, and obviously very tearfully.
Yeah.
But I'm tapping
It's
the
got
energy.
to come out though, hasn't it?
It's got to come out. It's
Yeah.
got to come out,
Release.
because the more you hold on, in your heart and in your soul, and you're not releasing it, it's just going to carry on with another layer, another trauma. It always happens to me. Oh, this is the same old pattern. No more of that. It needs to be released and come out.
So we've also been doing some positive visualization for the shop and tech and life beyond the hoard, or collection, as we also call it. Hoard, we call it hoard because it's raising awareness for hoarding, and you're also raising money for Hoarding UK through the shop that you've had the really fortunate, lucky opportunity. But actually it's a really nice collection. It's not just it's not rubbish, is it?
No, they're beautiful. And when they talked about it on the program, they talked about it's very much a representation of what Mandi is. It's quite, there's a lot of sparkly stuff, there's a lot of 40 stuff, there's a lot of 50 stuff, a lot of flowery stuff, so it's not all dark and macabre, and it's very colourful. It's very colourful, and they likened it to, it's very much Mandi's personality. Well,
so what's the kind of the positive visualization that we've done to help you move forward? You remember some of the things that we looked at?
Yeah, right. When we were first talking, it was like, this is hard, because I have my fear, and I'm like, oh well, I'm going to be opening the shop, and Anne-Marie was very good at saying, no, visualize yourself in the shop, welcoming customers in, being able to deal with the till, all this positive affirmation that it's happening. The shop is open, you are happy, you have got lots of very happy customers, you're talking to people about hoarding, you're talking to people about creating awareness of the mental health aspect of hoarding.
Absolutely.
And I'm not afraid to talk about it now. In fact, I laugh with some of my friends and I say, well, they can't stop me talking about it now I've got my voice. I think opening my own Pandora's box, on TV, it's like, there's no going back now, Mandi.
And then going live on
yeah,
social media to share the journey.
Yeah,
And share the work that the inner work that you're doing.
Yes, there would have been a time that I would have said, no way, that's private. I can't possibly do that. People will judge me, and they will say, oh, look at that, what she's doing, she's only doing it for, public. It's not about that at all for me. It's about helping myself, because obviously, you've got to put your own oxygen mask on first before you can help others. And then I'll be able to, once, I've got to do it, because I've got to set it up, because otherwise, it's all talk and it's not happening. So, when Anne-Marie was talking about, it's, the shop is open. You are able to work with the till. You are happy. You are helping other people. Those are all really positive things that, I'm aspiring to. That's what I hold as my, real vision of where I am, and that's my goal. So that's a massive reason why,
to be healed from your hoarding pattern, and to be to let go of the hoard, the collection, the stock, and earn some money from it, but also raise money for Hoarding UK.
Mm, mm.
But primarily, it's to get rid of it, isn't it? It's to
Yeah,
get it out of your home
yeah, yeah,
and life, so that you can move on, move
yeah.
forward, and create a new positive
Mm,
life.
mm.
You've got lots of ideas for beyond this time, haven't you?
Yeah, I'd like to write a book about my journey. I
Mhm.
really want to, hold hold a festival, create art, do recycled jewelry, but I have to deal with the
This first,
biggest, the
yeah.
biggest problem first before so I
Mhm.
can't get distracted. And
Mhm.
I've spoken to Anne Marie about getting distracted and running after shiny things,
Mhm.
but I have to come back and I have to focus and think I can't do all of that. My emotional baggage has to be dealt with, and
Mhm.
also very, very obviously my physical baggage that
Yeah.
is here in my home and is
Mhm.
being transferred, over to be sold. So there'll be some of the items that I'll go, I can't sell that yet, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Just don't sell it. Don't deal with the things that are difficult to part with, because it just
Deal with the easy ones first.
do the
Yeah.
easy one, and there's many, many, many of those.
Mhm. So, what would you say if somebody was thinking of, having an EFT session with me,
I would say, what have you got to
especially with me?
lose? Yeah, with you, of course. I would say, what have you got to lose? You've got
Mhm.
nothing to lose. I mean, I'm seeking all sorts of ideas. Like I
Mhm.
know that it's good to get out, and I know it's good to walk, and I know that will help me lose weight, and there's all these various different things that I know are good for me.
Mhm.
And tapping an EFT and releasing energy wasn't something I'd really heard about, knew about.
No.
So it was, very, very new to me. And I'd heard the word tapping, but I didn't really know. So obviously, when
Mhm.
Anne Marie, we attracted each other, if you want
Yeah.
to say that,
Manifesting,
and
law of
we
attraction,
manifested to get
divine
just
timing.
that's it, divine networking.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what it is. I mean, it was networking at the start to meet
Mhm.
each other, and then it kind of went on from there. And it's Anne Marie's been very patient. Certainly has. I think we lost each other then.
I think we did.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, but we're back.
Go back.
um, but it was, there's, I think I knew that there was things changing very quickly
Mhm.
because of the trigger points, and I found it very easy to not avoid any subjects, to just talk about the subjects that
Yeah.
in my head were very were very they kept bringing me back. They were a repetitive pattern, so it's very easy to just think, what is my biggest problem?
Mhm.
And obviously the hoard. And then I started to think about the emotional and the patterns that have happened in my life, the loss, the trauma, the grief, all the sorts of things that you don't deal with. I could almost say, oh, well, they're attributed, and now look, I've got this massive collection because
Mhm.
it's protected, I'm controlling it. So I feel that I would certainly say, talk to Anne Marie. You've got nothing at all to lose, and if it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. But when you bring an emotion up and you're in tears about something, but you're still tapping, so you're still
Yeah.
releasing the
So
energy
you're
out.
clearing it. Yeah.
So you're
Absolutely.
clearing it, so it's not hanging around, it's not coming
Yeah.
back. My biggest was with counselling was, at the end of a counselling session, I would say, well, what we do next? It'd be like, oh, that's
Mhm.
an hour now, and I'd feel a little bit adrift because I wanted something. So with the tap and the
Mhm.
talk and the tears, as I'd say, we're clearing energy out,
Yeah.
that is stored there, that isn't good energy. That's how I would probably
Mm.
describe it. Would you say that that's a fair thing to say? Because I'm
Yeah,
using
it
very
is.
layman's terms, well, not
Yeah.
layman's, very basic terms.
Yeah, because you're releasing that those thoughts, those memories, that energy, that emotional energy. Um, I think also that it makes it easier to manifest things. Attracting good things into your life. Things seem to sort of fall into place or become aligned. So I've just finished working with a client for 12 weeks. And we were working on, her financial situation, her money situation, and her business. And she's actually lost 1 stone 8 1/4 in weight. It was weight she needed to lose, but we weren't working on that. But that's been a bonus. And we're going to start working again to focus on that. But because she was releasing lots of, emotional stuff, and working on her money mindset, and stuff around her business, she's, we've cleared a lot of sort of emotional stuff and physical clutter in her home and office, and it's also had this bonus effect, on her weight, which we weren't really, it wasn't the primary focus, but it's something that she does need to, to look at.
I think for me, holistic healing, I have looked at the idea of, there was one point I was actually weighing bags as they were leaving the house, seeing it as very visibly moving physical clutter out and having a less weight in my home. So the whole idea of feeling positive, more mentally aware, more, the shop is moving on, will make me feel happier. And when you feel happier, you're happy, getting on the cycle, go for a run. I'm more self-care about myself because things are moving forward rather than being stuck. So
Absolutely.
I very, visibly can see that potentially. I did a lot of litter picking, and that made me feel very good, and it gave me focus with a purpose during the pandemic, and I lost, a couple of stones. So I'm seeing that,
once you feel good.
Yeah, you do. You start to know, you just have a little bit more of a spring in your step, and especially since it's, coming up to summer and the nights are longer and lighter, and I've just been diagnosed that I've got vitamin D deficiency, so there'll be lots of there'll be lots of really positive things which will make me not want to sit in, but to just get on with things, get things moving. So,
and that's where the coaching and healing can also help to, to shift that energy. So we're going to finish off now, and we're going to go back into the studio and go off live. So I just want to finish off with my secret little announcement. I'm going to go live. My flash offer 48-hour sale is going to go live tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock for 48 hours, and it is a single upgrade your money mindset power session, which is a 90-minute session, normally £197, and it's on sale for £60 over the Easter holidays. So I should be sharing some screenshots and testimonials of where people have just had a single session and the progress that they've had. Right now we've just 2 separate sessions, but we're working on a longer program. But one session can make a huge difference. Okay, so we've had a few people pop on and watch us live. There's no comments, so we'll just say goodbye. Next time we go live, we're going to have another session of coaching and healing during the week, Mandy and I, and we're going to go back in the off live and book that session. So bye to all our viewers.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
And thank you, Mandy.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
Right, we'll just